All right. So we've had news. We've had the open. We had a very similar. If you look at this, and then you look at yesterday. Yesterday we had our range, we had our break, we had our low volume node, and then we had our move. Today we've had our range, had a break, retest, and move higher. So yesterday it didn't give us much of a break and retest. Here we had a break and a retest, but the retest went quite deep. But there was a low volume node that made it make sense. On the profiles, this is closing. We are coming back and closing within the value area. So it's, strictly speaking, it's not a great entry. And I now think that, I think we could repeat what happened yesterday. We've got some low volume nodes down here as well from this move. Yeah, there's no volume there. I was late to this. Depending on the big trades, this would have been or may have been something that would have tempted me into an entry, whether I'd have got it or not, or been stopped out after having, because we've had the break, we've had the retest. I may have tried to enter in here. I suspect I would have been caught out. Just looking at the big trades now, we've got some big sells, big buys. Let's see what we've got on here. Not loading, which doesn't help. Come on. What's that about? Reload another instance of that. So we've got buys there. We've got buys right into this high. We've got buys here, and we've also got sells here. if yesterday's anything to go by, we're coming down and we're continuing lower from here. As per the rules of my strategy, I'm not going to trade that until we get below the range. We can also continue higher from here. I don't like the trade because of the low volume node here, making it like it's a big low volume node. We've got that and that and that. And you can get a response from any of them. The most bullish one would be the top, because you've got a big trade in here. And if I see aggressive buys protecting that right now, then there's potential validity in it going long from here. But so far I haven't seen a big aggressive buy at this level. So I'm not participating in the idea of protecting this level. I say it's potentially valid. I'm not gonna take anything without any more confirmation based on the stuff. So here, as far as I'm concerned, on Euro, we've got a bearish trend. We've come through the previous daily low. We're now retesting the low volume gap. Interesting price action for sure. It's not clean, so I'm not taking it. And it's post news, so I'm not taking it. We do have a buy here. I think with the amount of sales we've got in this area, if we, for example, it wouldn't be super silly to. The risk reward is just not great, is it? Don't know why I just moved there, the low volume node. You could consider putting a buy stop at the high on the basis that there are a bunch of shorts in here, a bunch of sells. So I might squeeze like, but this was the squeeze really. I did simply miss it, and that's fine. There was absolutely a move that kind of created a low volume node and created the possibility of an entry. Okay, so we've got more buyers coming in here now. Yeah, look at that. And again, according with my strategy or with my system, you kind of I the plan is to see a break of the value area low, a retest, and a continuation. But to break it, come all the way back to the top of the range, and then to break it, and then to come back again is not something that I trust a huge amount. Okay, so we've got a big sell in here. Okay, so this here shows you that we're now at the level where we've got potential for sellers taking over, because this is where the most recent relevant buys are. So breaking this would then mean sellers in control. If we broke this high, I think we'd be looking for a squeeze because of the big sells here, and that would be interesting. Whoops. So something like that. And the reason that's interesting is because you've got these big sells and these buys and the buys here. And if we come back up here, these buys have successfully defended the level, and these shorts are like literally going to get squeezed. So that's my theory. That's my thesis for it, and that's why I'm looking at this high instead of this high. It's purely about the trades. The big trades. Because as it stands here, these buyers have held the level. These buyers have held the level. And these sellers have failed to make the change that they wanted to. Be nice to see aggressive buyers here to support the thesis. So far, nothing. And making decisions off the big trades, as well as the profile based model, really does give you a lot of flexibility on your entries, and your criteria is like simultaneously very specific, but also, I want to see it carry on straight away now. I don't want to see it hanging about Choose. I don't want to see it coming lower than this wick really. If we go higher than this current height, now I'm going to put my stop loss straight to break even. Yeah. Because I I want to see conviction and a decision already made in terms of where price is going. If we come back to here, that's fine. If we get big trades defending it or some evidence that we're carrying on higher, then I'm happy to re-enter. That's a re-entry for me. That's fine. aggressive buy here as well. I did re-enter. I re-entered with a wider stop. Potentially I didn't need to have such a tight stop. I think, you know, because realistically my stop being the low would have made sense. But I wanted to see an aggressive move. So we've got a big trade buy and a big trade sell. We've got a buy in here. We've got a sell in here. Apparently I can't make bigger. And again, as soon as same concept as before. As soon as we break this high, if we break this high, then I will go to break even straight away. It's just a constant if this then this, if this then this, if this then this, and it's good really because you can kind of you can really silence that constantly predictive part of you that's, you know, it's because it's very natural to have it and to say and to, okay, I'm at break even now because there's now 3 big trades in here and price is moving. I don't want to see these 3 trades get like taken out by wicking this low volume node already, or like by revisiting the low volume node. Okay, equal highs. Come on, giddy up. So what would make a 1 to 2? Like that. Seems like quite a long way. We'll see. Bear in mind that it's now it's no longer a 1 to 2, it's a 0 to 2. It was a 1 to 2. But it's only temporarily a 1 to 2 until it's not. As I said, break even again. Okay. We might be heading for the continuation after all. Okay, that's me out of break even twice now, which is fine. I wonder if there was something in here on the 1 minute. Don't see anything. There is a 0 print here. See, I don't want to re-enter now. I don't want to re-enter that. I'm reluctant because we've got these two buys that we've moved back under. We've got one here that's fighting that we haven't moved back under yet. Okay, aggressive seller. It's interesting. Maybe this is gonna pan out exactly how I anticipated it would, or maybe not. Maybe we need more sellers in to squeeze. Let's go back to the 5 minute. I always like to go back to the 5 minute after spending a little bit too much time on the 1 minute, because I end up getting kind of sucked into nothing moves. Because you know the two trades I've taken have gone almost nowhere. We've wicked up twice, wicked up and got brought back down. As we haven't followed through on this high, it's like was I right? Was I right? Just having a look at the cumulative volume delta. If I can get it to load. So cumulative volume delta suggests that we're out of steam and we're going down. There's like a divergence between the two highs. The CVD is doing this instead of this, but you know, price is like failing to. We're wicking up but closing at the same price. So I think the buyers are being absorbed here, if there are any, which to me suggests that we're going to reverse. So again, if I was still in this, I'd definitely be at break even. But we know that ship has already sailed. I am already on the break-even boat. If we break this low, I think we are heading lower, because that is confirming our sellers are taking over. So we've got this little range here. Boy. This range here. Hello. Still trying. So this is a good place to watch the footprint, because okay, so to me that is absorption. Wow, there's the squeeze. It's not absorption. So yeah, really interesting. Really interesting. So if you look across, I was wrong, clearly. You had buys and sells at this level, or maybe we're wicking and that was it. We had buys and sells. We've got neutral delta, positive delta here at the moment. So I was saying, is it absorption? I was convincing myself it was absorption because we had this move and this buying force gets stopped, but the delta's not that massively positive. And this trading here, again, there's no huge buys, so there's no massive amount of absorption happening because there's nothing big to absorb really. And then I saw this and I thought, well, that must be the absorption then, but I think that was just the market wanting to push higher. Some orders as we tapped into the equal high that was clearly triggered, and then we got we got a spike, but then we've come straight back down. So again, if I was still in this, I'd definitely still keep holding, despite the fact that we've made several made equal highs and sweat kind of wicked above and been bought back down, been sold back down. We have still got this low volume node here, so we can easily kind of tumble back. So here's our continuation. Yeah. It's interesting that we've had no more big trades here. I do see this going lower. No, and on EU here, there was nothing reliable here for me to. These two trades are awesome. This morning. That's like ideal London session trading. You've got aggressive order, like big trades. You've got confirming your entries on both sides, on the bottom of the range and the top of the range. I had high conviction in the first trade because it was in line with the trend, but the second trade had a bigger big buy trade at the entry. See, again, like we're wicking, but we're not really finding new price with the body closures, especially on the 5 minutes. It's kind of clear. I do wish I'd held this. I'd rather go to stop loss to break even too soon than blah blah blah. To me, that's run out of steam, eh? Yeah. And this is... I don't use this as much as I used to. I used to use stochastics a lot. But that is got a high, and then we've got a lower high on the CVD and a high high on the L. So that's where the multiple stochastic analysis would, like divergence analysis, would get you to there. So that's your divergence. Potentially means nothing as well, but I'm not going to trade any of this because it's super messy. And it's one of those things where the range is kind of just, it's as if the low of the range is just shifted down rather than breaking the range, because we've tapped it twice. We've just created new lows, same highs. GBP USD is interesting because we've got a range. We could break, retest, continue, but we are also, very bearish. when I traded stochastic divergence a lot, I'd have been really interested in this. But when I traded stochastic divergence, I also had a completely different like interpretation of the volume. I'd have been in right on the candle, targeting oversold. But I think we can still continue higher easily from here. It's just not. It just looks ugly with this consolidation at this level. It's getting to the point where I want to put another profile on this specific area. Yeah. Continuation. Are we going to make any new highs, or are we just going to do the same? See, there's a bunch of passive orders. I'm just entertaining this. I'm not going to do it because I've got no big trade supporting the thesis, but this is a test of the value area high for this range. This is interesting. It's a noteworthy closure, but it just slowed down so much. So as I let myself get worked out of this, there's been no re-entry, there's been no conviction, there's been nothing that kind of suggests that we're going with conviction in any other direction. So I think I'm going to call it today. Yeah, as I say, if I was in this trade, I would hold it. I would stay at break even. It doesn't look like there's a bunch of momentum, but orders can come in anytime, making momentum kind of irrelevant. And that's why I stopped trading stochastics, because they're relative. And the orders are what's actually happening. The stochastic is a byproduct, which is imprecise. That would have been nice. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. Break even by now because the low volume node. I'm not in that. All right, I'm done. See you tomorrow.